In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Lock and load. It's time to load up on some intellectual ammunition with Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. It doesn't matter if you learn to shoot with Daniel Boone or you're brand new. You're welcome here. This is the original national talk show about guns, and Tom Gresham is your guide through the maze of ballistics and politics. So grab your phone and call in right now, 866-825-5486, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom. Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
Happy Father's Day! It's Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Just a great big happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. If you haven't called your dad yet, do it right now if you can. Thank him for all of it, really. Just being around. Still looking for your calls, comments, your stories about your dad taking you out to the range. Maybe a shooting lesson you got. I was thinking about my dad and some of his favorite calibers. Dad was he was a 20 gauge guy. Really liked the 20 gauge. And specifically, he really liked over and under 20 gauge. He had a Winchester 101 in 20 gauge that he used for everything. Now, he shot the 3-inch mag shells, which we know now probably are not as good ballistically. It's a long shot string and all of that. But, hey, he used them for everything. Of course, back when you could shoot lead, he could just hammer the heck out of ducks with lead loads, 3-inch mag, 20 gauge. We're talking 40, 50 years ago. But he was a real 20 gauge guy, really liked them. And then he ended up with a 16 gauge side-by-side that he used some, not as much as his over and unders, but he really liked that. And I ended up with the 16 gauge side-by. So that one stays with the family. I don't shoot it actually. I'll probably need to get the stock bent. It's set up for a right-hander and I shoot left-handed. But if I could get the stock bent where I could use it reasonably, I could take it out and do a little bit with it. So anyway, what's your story with shooting or hunting with your dad? 866-TALK-GUNS. All right, let me bring in a friend of ours now. Paul Valone is the president of the Grassroots North Carolina, a great state gun rights group. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey, Tom, thanks for having me.
I understand you are out at the shooting range.
I am. I hope there's not any gunfire in the background, or not too much anyways. I just got done shooting a match.
So what were you shooting? What kind of match?
It's a IPSC, USPSA, as you prefer.
Fabulous.
I finally actually got back into shooting after having spent so many years doing gun rights that I didn't have time to shoot.
Yeah. So you guys are celebrating a big 20-year anniversary, huh?
We are. We're calling it the Celebrating 20 Years of Victory Dinner. Grassroots North Carolina has been around since 1994, and we've been pretty much kicking tail ever since. With concealed handgun law passed, concealed handgun reciprocity, castle doctrine, stand your ground. We recently expanded concealed carry into restaurants and educational properties, and a number of other things. We've been quite happy with our progress so far.
And that's really where a state group can really do some work. You got to be on the ground, you got to work it, and you have to be. One of the things I was going to ask you about is the value of being patient. You can't get everything you want every year.
Hallelujah. In most cases, it took us 4 to 6 years to get bills passed that we were looking for, and in many cases, we had to take little pieces of it and do, quite frankly, what the opposition does: incrementally pursue our agenda. Sometimes you can't get it all at once, but if you keep going back at it again and again, eventually you win.
There you go. Now, you're having a dinner, a big deal next weekend, right?
Yes, we are. June 21st in Charlotte. And they can see it on our website at grnc.org. We've got Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America, Andrew Branca, who wrote The Law of Self-Defense, one of the probably preeminent experts on the legal aspects of self-defense, and, of course, our good friend John R. Lott, who has just started his new Crime Prevention Research Center in order to debunk the phony studies coming out of Michael Bloomberg's Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. And in fact, we're really trying very hard to give Dr. Lott some help with this Crime Prevention Research Center. In fact, we will be raffling off one of Ted Nugent's autographed guitars. And
wow.
I'm sure everybody here is familiar with Ted Nugent and his ardent support for gun rights. And so we will be selling only 50 tickets to this raffle for Ted Nugent's autographed guitar starting at midnight on our website at grnc.org.
Okay,
and,
grnc.org. All right, let me give that out again for everybody. It's grnc.org. That's for Grassroots North Carolina. Paul, how did this group come about in the first place?
Well, essentially, it came about because two other guys and I got scared in 1994 watching the Speaker of the House, I think it was Tom Foley at that point, keep the vote open after time had expired in order to buy enough votes to pass the so-called assault weapon ban. So we started with a rally in the state capitol here that put nearly 2,000 people on the Capitol steps, and that was organized, by the way, in 30 days before the common use of the Internet. We took names and made an organization on it, and we've been going ever since.
Well, after that, you've been kicking butt and taking names.
I like to think so. I know that a number of national figures have said we're probably one of the most effective gun rights organizations at a state level in the country. And quite frankly, the other reason for holding this dinner is not just to celebrate our success, but to raise awareness for the fact that the threat's not gone as far as our gun rights go. A lot of people, now that, when the federal gun control failed last spring, they've kind of gone back into their shell and said, well, I really don't have to worry about it anymore. Well, that's far from true because Bloomberg, with his Moms Demand Action, Every Town for Gun Safety, Mayors Against Illegal Guns, all these phony, what I call AstroTurf groups, they're putting $50 million toward attacking your rights. So it's a very real threat, and that's why we want to make sure that Dr. Lott and his Crime Prevention Research Center gets all the resources they can to fight that battle.
It's going to be a great event. It is next Saturday, June 21st in Charlotte, North Carolina. The website, if you want information on it, is grnc.org. And Paul, one other thing, if you would, address for folks why each person, every single individual gun owner, needs to be involved with their state group.
Well, essentially, lawmakers are going to control your life, whether you do nothing or whether you do something. So the point is you better get that input in there and make these people accountable. That is the single most effective thing that you can do with a politician is to hold him accountable for his votes, accountable for the bills that he sponsors. If you can do that, you can affect real change in your state.
That's really the deal right there. The thing is, they're going to decide in the legislature what happens to you and what happens to guns. You can either be there and make things happen, or you can stay away and then have them just come and tell you what happened.
Exactly right.
All right. Thanks, Paul. You guys do a great job. I applaud you. Congratulations, and hope you have a great 20th anniversary get-together there.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
All righty. You take care. Get back here and do some more shooting, partner. Paul Valone from the Grassroots North Carolina group. Super guy, super organization, and a great model for state groups out there. Talk about getting things done. Well, you know what? If you have concealed carry in your state, it's because there was a state group that got involved and did it. I would suggest to you, if you want to have a really cool meaning in your life, add something to it. Get involved in your state group. That's where the rubber hits the road. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Give me a holler. Tell me about your dad, the guns he liked, the cartridges, the gauges, and the stories. 866-TALK-GUN.
Accurate, powerful, consistent. At Double Tap Ammunition, we offer 364 loads in 83 calibers that give you exactly what you've been looking for. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
Hi, this is Doug Koenig, professional shooter and winner of over 60 national and world championships. If you shoot an AR, you need to be running the new Sharps Reliabolt. This bolt is amazing. The Reliabolt was fired 7,500 consecutive times by an independent test facility, jam-free. If you need the peace of mind and safety of not worrying about a jam, then buy the Sharps Reliabolt. Sharps Reliabolt is available at srcarms.com and tell them Doug sent you.
Tired of overpaying for one concealed carry holster after another that is flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? At Alien Gear Holsters, less than $30 gets you a professional quality holster that's super stealthy and ultra comfortable. Every Alien Gear holster is backed by a forever warranty, a 30-day test drive, and free shell trades for life in case you buy a different gun. AlienGearHolsters.com. AlienGearHolsters.com.
At Double Tap Ammunition, we hand inspect every round that we make, and we use only the best components to give you the best ammunition on the market. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
Coming up, the whole crew chimes in an on-topic, off-topic free-for-all. Be sure and stick around for the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, I got to tell you about this shooting event I went to. It's like calling it a match is not even getting close to it. It was the MGM Ironman 3-gun out in Parma, Idaho. Just got back from that, yesterday. It is unbelievable. Take a 3-gun match and multiply it times 10, and that's what you have. In a typical 3-gun match where you're shooting pistol, rifle, and shotgun, generally in most stages you're not shooting all 3. In this event, you shoot all 3 guns in every stage. Typically in a 3-gun match, you have a par time. That is, you have to complete the shooting by a certain time, and a lot of times you'll end up quicker than that. And a par time might be 60 seconds on a stage, so you can complete the whole stage in 60 seconds. At the Ironman, and it's the Ironman, you may have a par time of 8 minutes to complete the stage. Do you realize how much shooting takes place in 8 minutes? So you're shooting shotguns, rifles, and handguns. One stage I watched, they're shooting everything from shotgun spinners at 12 feet, shooting clay targets on the ground next to them at 2 feet, and then shooting steel targets at 900 yards. Not to mention climbing up this tower, sliding down a huge, like a playground swing or slide, but it's about, 40 feet high, watching the wind, checking what's going on out there. It's amazing what's going on. So it is a heck of an event. The Ironman 3-gun. It is it's something to see. I tell you what, if you want to treat yourself, go to YouTube and look up some of the videos on YouTube, and just put in Ironman 3-gun. You'll see what I'm talking about. They have a zip line. All right, you get hung up in this harness and a zip line. Imagine this. And you take off and you're sliding down the zip line, and then you get to a certain point and you've got your pistol in your hand, and they say, now you can load. So you rack the slide, and now you are flying past targets. And you're shooting to the left, you're shooting to the right, and then it goes all the way to the end and then starts coming back. And as you're backing up, now you're shooting plate racks, all sorts of stuff. Just really, really something else. So it's... I cannot wait to put this show together. We were shooting video out there. We got great stuff. We were working with Chris Serino. And Chris, great guy, great competitor. The dust, the grime out there is incredible. You get hot, dry, dusty. It's brutal on equipment. I saw more guns go down and stop working there than I've ever seen anywhere. You get a combination of shooting maybe as many as 2,000 rounds over the course of a match. Little talcum powderish dust that gets into everything, grit and grime. Amazing. It's a heck of a deal. I was so impressed. I'm directing the shoot, the video shoot, and I'm just wanting to grab a gun and shoot. Man, it was driving me crazy. Let's talk to CW. He is in Aberdeen, South Dakota. He's on line 1. CW, thanks for calling.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
I'm good. What you doing there?
I hope you're having a good Father's Day, and a happy Father's Day to you.
I am.
I've got a question. I got a question on the striker fire guns.
Okay.
And it has to do with, you keep reading on the internet where they have all these incidents where they're shooting themselves in the leg or...
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been kind of in the market to get one. I'm a 1911 guy, and I like the thinness. I carry a big model in my inside the waistband all the time. What would you recommend in a striker fire that's got a safety on it?
Okay, let's back up. The safety is not what's preventing people from shooting themselves. Here's the deal. If you put your finger on the trigger of a gun and you point it at your leg and you pull the trigger, generally speaking, you're going to shoot yourself in the leg. 100% of these cases, that's what these guys are doing. Here's what they're doing. Let me tell you. They're holstering their pistol with their finger in the trigger guard.
Gotcha.
There's really no substitute for stupidity here. And I'm sorry if that offends somebody who's done it, but most people I know, if there's somebody who's done it, they're going to say, yep, that was stupid. If you put your finger in the trigger guard and then you shove the gun into your holster, it will pull the trigger and the gun will do as instructed. It will go off. So first of all, let me just say, this is not an issue where you need a thumb safety for. This is an issue where you need a brain to engage your trigger finger to keep it alongside the side of the gun and outside of the trigger guard while you're holstering. So
what about the cop that was holstering it and the little tie knob on his coat got stuck in the trigger, and when he pushed it down, that pulled the trigger?
That did happen, I'm glad you brought that up. For those who don't know, you know the little what do they call them? Cylindrical plastic sliders that go on the draw tabs on the bottom of a coat. You can cinch it up. That actually got into a holster, and a policeman was shoving his gun into his holster, and that pulled the trigger. I know a number of people that as soon as they get those coats, they cut those things off and just tie the cord in a knot. But that's a good point. Okay, so you're interested in a striker fire pistol, but you want one with a thumb safety. Is that correct?
Also, keep in mind, I'd like to have one that's narrow, because most of the striker, the reason I haven't bought one is because they're mostly a duty carry. I'd like a thinner one like the 1911 is.
Okay, the Smith & Wesson Shield, they just announced they're making one without a safety, but it does have a thumb safety on it. It's a little bitty thumb safety, but it's there. As you get to smaller guns, they're going to be smaller. You know what? I've just realized, I don't know this. Walther's striker fired gun is really thin, but I don't know offhand if it has a thumb safety on it. I would have to go actually look at it. 2 others, or actually 3 others I know do. Okay, I'm just thinking about which one. Okay, I like the Smith & Wesson M&P. It's a little bit.
I love Smith & Wesson.
Okay, it's a little bit thinner than a 1911. You can get it with a thumb safety. The Springfield Army XD or XDM you can get with a thumb safety. But here's one that I would have you take a look at. Look at the Ruger SR9 and SR45 pistols. Very thin and a good thumb safety. I like those pistols a lot.
How's the trigger on those?
Trigger is exceptional. Now, when they first came out, the trigger was not so great. And then, this is a weird story. They came out with the SR9C, the compact, and I had tried the full-size one and was not impressed in the slightest. And they said, try this one. I'm going, oh, man, I'm going to hate this. A bad trigger on a smaller gun. And I tried it and went, what did you guys do to this thing? This has a great trigger. And they said, yeah, we figured it out. And they started putting the good trigger even in the full-size guns. And now the Ruger SR series has a great trigger in it. So I love the trigger on those guns.
Okay, being an older guy, I have to have the Crimson Trace.
You can get a Crimson Trace on those depending on if you want the grip safety or if you want an under-the-barrel light guard or laser guard type of setup. But you can get a laser for any of those.
I like the front monitor in the front where it's activated just by gripping the safety the best. I mean, there's no thinking to it. You just get to point and shoot. They
have that for the Smith & Wesson M&P. Let's see, I'd have to take a look at. I'm not sure if they have it. You know what? You're probably best to start on the Crimson Trace website and figure it out from there, and figure out which one they have it for, and then back up, and you'll actually be backing into the decision matrix from the laser side of things.
Exactly, and then that way I can head out to the gun shop here, which has a pretty good selection of guns. And like you said, see which one feels the best in my hand.
I like it. CW, listen, I appreciate the call, sir, and a happy Father's Day to you. I wish you luck with it. Speaking of Father's Day, line 2, Buddy is with us out of Keithville, Louisiana. Hello, Buddy.
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. You got a story for us?
I want to tell you a little quick story, but first of all, I want to thank you for being the activist that you are, and I hope that you never back up a second.
Appreciate it.
And happy Father's Day to you, too. When I was a kid, I'm 60 years old. When I was a kid, I can remember my dad taking us out of school with prepared homework where we wouldn't miss anything. And he'd take us down to Ringo, a little where my grandmother was at. We would squirrel hunt. That was his thing for like a 3 or 4 day at a time. Just wonderful memories. And when my son was in high school, I'd pick out a day sometimes. He was a straight A student kid. I'd pick out a day sometime and I'd say, son, looks like tomorrow's going to be a day you need to take off work. And of course, he was a teenager and he'd take off work. We'd go deer hunting. And just, for all the dads that do those kind of things for their kids, I thank them.
Yep, exactly. It occurs to me, it's not the measure of what you do for your child or what your dad did for you is not how much he gave you or how much money he spent on you, but it's the most important and the most valuable currency available. It's time. And thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. How much time? And I'm here to tell you that a day or even a morning, a half a day at the range, or out hunting together, or out camping together, or out fishing together, that's golden. That's the valuable stuff. That's the good stuff, as we say. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. I was fortunate, got to spend a lot of good quality time hunting, shooting, fishing, camping with my dad, and I appreciate that. But that's the currency that is the most valuable there is. Got a story about your dad, shooting, hunting? Give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk.
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
I think about Father's Day stories. When we were out in Idaho this week, there was a father with his daughter. She was probably 15 years old, and she's shooting a 300 Magnum, 300 Win Mag. Actually, it was a Winchester short bag, a WSM. And they're doing some long-range shooting, and he's trying to teach her to shoot and shooting his rifle, and the loads were not quite sized right, the reloads. And she's shooting, and she said, I'm getting stuff in my eyes, Dad. I'm looked over there, and she's not wearing shooting glasses. Poor thing. And I actually volunteered. I said, I've got extra shooting glasses. He said, no, it's okay. I'm thinking, oh, man. I mean, she's shooting, and she's saying stuff's coming back in her eyes. And do not let any person that you care about pull a trigger even once on anything at the range or hunting without wearing shooting glasses. Not once. Just got an email from, let's see, actually. We don't have a name on here. But I appreciate the email. It says, my dad's favorite shotgun was my grandpa's Hunter Arms 20-gauge side-by-side, made in 1907. He loaned it to his cousin, who cracked the stock. Was like that for many years. After Dad passed away, I inherited it along with his other firearms. I am now in the process of restoring the 20-gauge. It's chambered for 2.5-inch shells. They are available at polywad.com. Yes, Jay Menifee runs Polywad. Great company, by the way. Cool ammo, Polywad, POLYWAD.com. Dad taught me gun safety and how to hunt when he gave me my first gun, a Daisy BB lever action, for my 5th birthday. Thanks for allowing me to share the memories. Yeah, I appreciate that one. Speaking of that, let's go to line 4. Harold's with us out of Colorado. Hello, Harold. Happy Father's Day.
Hey, Tom. Happy Father's Day. Good to get through to you finally.
I appreciate it.
My dad left in the care of my mother when he shipped out for the Pacific in World War II. Mm-hmm. A Daisy Red Ryder BB gun.
Oh.
And she had full instructions to teach me the proper way to do everything, because he wanted a hunting partner when he got home.
Huh.
And that's how I started, and that's why I can't hear today, because I had many, many years of unprotected shooting.
Yeah, that's true. Back then, nobody wore hearing protection when they shot.
I'm not saying I'm old, but I remember taking all my guns to shop class in high school to redo them.
Yeah, I know. Truly the good old days there when kids could take their guns to school and they would take them to shop or put them in a coat closet and use them to hunt when they go home, and nobody would call out the SWAT team.
I really enjoy your TV shows and your radio show, but my dad was always very supportive of guns and hunting. He bit me with the bug early and kept it as long as he was alive. And I remember when I was about 8 years old, he gave me a 20-gauge Remington pump that had been his brother George's. And the thing was so long I had to put it under my arm, and we wasn't going to cut any stocks. Right. Anyway, we were out quail hunting when I was 7, 8 years old, and we had busted a covey. This was in the west, so they were scale quail, which run a lot. Mm-hmm. But we had busted them up and heading toward a cactus pile where I had seen a couple of them go in. And I got almost to the point to where I was going to flush them, and I had my shoulder tapped on.
Yeah.
And it was my dad right behind me, and he said, "Let me look at your gun, just flip it over." And I did, and it had a trigger guard safety, which of course was off. I unloaded my gun and went back to the truck, but I never forgot.
Yep. Took off your safety before the birds got up. You know, those lessons from your dad stay with you. Harold, thank you so much for sharing the story. By the way, for those who don't understand, you take the safety off when the gun comes up to your shoulder. You don't take it off ahead of time. So excellent. Great story. Thanks, Harold. Tom's in Louisiana on line 3. Hey, Tom, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? This is Tom in T-Bend over here.
Okay.
Concerning the suppressors in the NFA license, if they're filed electronically, they just go through so much faster than the mail-in. I bought an AAC Element 2 through a silencer shop in Austin. I think you've had somebody on from that outfit. I sent off for it on October 11th, and it came back January 24th. 2 days later, I sent off for a Octane 45, and it got back about a week and a half ago. And my brother-in-law, at the same time that I sent off for the first one, he did too, and he hasn't heard from him yet. So This is Gun Trust, and it goes through considerably faster on electronic filing.
The only problem with that, Tom, is the ATF has shut down electronic filing.
Is that right?
Yep, you can no longer do your application for your Class 3 stuff, your NFA stuff, electronically. So we're back to the old system because they are so, well, let's just say that their system wouldn't work. We'll put it that way. So we're back to 9 to 10 to 11 months to get your tax stamp for your suppressor or your full auto or whatever. The electronic only lasted a few months. You were lucky to get in while it was there, but I congratulate you. You did well, and I'm glad it worked for you. Listen, I appreciate the call, sir. Yeah, I sure wish we could do the electronic, but it's gone. That's just the way it is. And maybe we'll get it back. Maybe they'll figure out how to run a computer system over there. I don't know. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
The Ruger SR-45, a large caliber pistol with a trim, ergonomic profile. Like the popular Ruger SR9 and SR40, the SR-45 is perfectly sized to be comfortable and controllable with a slim, ergonomic grip and narrow slide. It features an adjustable 3-dot sight system, Ruger's unique reversible back strap, an ambidextrous manual safety and magazine release, and built-in Picatinny rail. The Ruger SR-45, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
One machine, one operator. Each machine is run by a single pair of hands. Hands that spend all day, every day, learning the machine inside and out. We don't believe in quotas. The point is crafting faultless ammunition, no matter how long that takes. It's not quick or easy. Being the best never is. Black Hills Ammunition. It started with our hands.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. Shoot better. Stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
Want to have some more fun after today's radio broadcast of Gun Talk? Stick around for the after show with Tom, Jim, Michelle, and Michael. Now, more Gun Talk.
Well, this one's kind of interesting. A story coming out of Marion, Illinois. The Southport Bank in Marion, Illinois, the story says, is not only allowing its employees to carry concealed handguns, but they are letting everyone know that they always have, after a series of armed robberies in the area, including one at a nearby retail store. The bank is making the fact that they have had armed staff in the facility since it opened in 2011 become public knowledge. They actually put a sign on the door, it says, "This property protected by Smith & Wesson." So this is the Southport Bank in Marion, Illinois. Very cool. Way to go, guys. And this email from my buddy Ron out on the West Coast. He says, "Tom, no chance to get through by phone today. I was 5 years old when my dad came home from service in the Korean War. At the time, I had a cork pop gun, which was my pride and joy. Mom wouldn't let me have a BB gun. You know, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. So I had what I had. Dad came home on Christmas Eve, and when he saw it, he broke my pop gun, saying that he had seen too many people hurt by guns. Dad stayed in the Army for his career, and for my 13th birthday, when we were living and stationed in Hawaii, an Army friend of his bought me a .22 long rifle Sears and Roebuck bolt-action repeater. Dad said okay, but insisted I join the local NRA Junior Rifle Club, where I learned safe marksmanship. The rest, as they say, is history. Life member of the NRA, military and police firearm instructor, etc., etc. God bless and happy Father's Day." Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, interesting stuff, isn't it? Line 1, Ricky is with us out of Texas. Ricky, you're going to be shooting a long way with a .308?
Yes, it'll work, Tom.
Talk to me. What you doing?
Well, all the stories I've read, Tom, the 308s will hold up that 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah, the people shoot 308s 1,000 yards all the time. It's starting to get a little bit squirrely at 1,000. There are people who will tell you that it's more really an 800-yard gun. Have you shot it at 1,000? Are you hitting targets?
No, I hadn't. I had, just talking about, wanting a long-range gun,
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I'd throw a 308 out there.
Okay, well, if you're going to shoot, and particularly in competition, if you're going to shoot a 308 at 1,000 yards, you need to have long, skinny bullets. Of course, you can't make them any skinnier than 308, so what you got to have is probably shooting something like a 190 grain hollow point boat tail with really high ballistic coefficient. It's not the velocity so much as it is having a high ballistic coefficient. So you'd think maybe you'd go with high velocity, a lightweight bullet, but actually go with a heavier bullet that's long and skinny. It's fairly interesting, but a 308 with a 190 grain bullet, that'll work. Certainly not a problem, and goodness knows the 308's an awfully good deer cartridge. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. David is in Jacksonville, Oregon. He's on line 4. Hey, David, you got a Father's Day story for us?
Well, sure. Half the story, though, is how I earned the money for getting that first rifle.
Yeah?
Well, back in the 50s, they didn't have these worm farms, and I lived in kind of a small community. So I went out and picked worms for the sporting goods store and got $15 1,000. So I had to pick 3,000 worms for my first rifle, which is a Winchester Model 75, which has been a great gun for all these years.
I have never heard of that happening before. Anybody saying, I made my money to buy a gun by picking worms.
That's kind of unusual.
Good grief.
And Dad was always an incredible shot with his old Model 94 Winchester. That guy could drop a running deer to 150 yards, no problem.
Wow, son of a gun. Well, that is a great, great story, David. I appreciate that. What do you say, $15 for 1,000 worms. Son of a gun. Let's talk to Ken, line 2. He's in Colorado. Hey, Ken, first gun story.
Hi, Tom. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
When I was 10 years old, Christmas, I received a Winchester pump, Model 71, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
My dad said, before you shoot it, you got to take a NRA safety course. I took the course, I think, and I may be embellishing, but I think I missed maybe 3. My dad said, no, you can't shoot. I said you had to pass the test. And I ended up taking the course 3 times.
You had to make 100% on it.
That's what he said.
Wow.
Passing for him was 100%.
Son of
then
a
we
gun.
we had to go out and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Scared some rabbits. Then I learned the other half of gun handling was clean.
Yeah, that's right. You got to take it back. You got to clean it. I'm up against the clock here, but I love the story. Made you take the class 3 times. If it's not 100%, that means you didn't know everything. You know what? There are some lessons involved in that, too. Not just what it was being taught in the class, but about performance and what is truly a passing grade. Love it. Still got time to get your story about your father getting started in guns, maybe your first gun from your dad on Father's Day. It's Father's Day here on Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
All right. You can still get in here. 866-TALK-GUN. We're going to be talking about guns, Father's Day, and a lot of other stuff. Even when we go off the air, we'll still be talking about it, and it'll make it into our after show. So you can give us a holler right now. 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let's see. Line 3, Dan, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hello, Dan.
Hello. How you doing today?
I'm good. You got yourself a 221 Fireball?
Yes, I used to have.
You used to have. Was it in an XP100?
Exactly. It was a Remington.
Yeah, the Remington bolt-action XP100 space gun.
Right. And I had a scope on it for varmint shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if I was to ever get one of those again, if it could be upgraded to 223.
I don't think so. It's a shorter case, and I'm not sure, but I think maybe the XP100 action is too short. That particular action may be too short to get in. Now, they came out with XP100s later that were longer. They'd even have them in, they chambered them for 7mm08. But I think the one that you had, if it's a 221 Fireball, may be, I'm not sure, but may be too short to get a 223 into.
But Remington made a bolt-action handgun in 223?
I would have to go back and look. They had it available in 7mm08. It was long enough for that. So obviously if it's long enough for the 7mm08, it would take a 223. But I would have to go back and see if they ever chambered the XP100 in 223. I don't remember it. It could be, but I just don't remember it.
Right.
But, if you want a 223 and a handgun, Thompson Center is an option, too.
That's true. I didn't think about them.
So,
that's a much better handgun, too.
There's some others out there. I like the XP100. I thought it was great. I've still got one in a 7mm BR.
Right.
So 7mm. So that's also a good caliber. All right, listen. I appreciate the call. I try to get a couple of them in if we can. Let's see. To James, line 2 in Texas. James, how you doing?
How you doing today?
Good. Talk to me. I've got about a minute for you.
Well, I was 1968. I was 11 years old. My brother was 9. We'd worked all summer and raised money, and Dad said, "You can go get your gun now." So we got on our bicycles and rode 6 blocks to the hardware store by ourselves. He bought a 410 Ithaca lever-action single-shot shotgun. I bought a 20-gauge just like his. Box shells apiece, got on our bicycles and rode back home. I don't think you can do that today.
No, I don't think so. Love it. Great story, James. Let's talk to Eric on line 1 out of Bossier City. Hello, Eric. You're up, please.
I was about 6 years old and got a Daisy BB gun and couldn't pump it myself. I had an older brother, and her dad had to pump it for me. And when I could finally cock that sucker myself, my dad started taking me squirrel hunting, deer hunting, duck hunting, and a couple times I was lucky enough to shoot at the same duck that he happened to bring down. And amazed me, I got that duck. And
yeah, you know what? I've hunted with folks like that. Say, did you shoot too? Great story, Eric. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you could shoot the same time your dad did, you could claim that duck coming down. Absolutely. All right, here's the deal, folks. Still got time to get you in. Give me a holler right now, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. We'll get you in on the after show. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to go check out the after show. It's available on iTunes, Stitcher, all the rest of them, or just go to guntalk.com. In the meantime, have yourself a great Father's Day. Remember those stories. Pass them along to the family. That's the good stuff. You be careful. Love your family and tell them that you love them.